Yeah. All right, we're going to start taking this thing apart. We're going to get the transmission out of it. So we got the boss inside. You can see through the glass. She's in there. And she's going to take the bolts out of the shifter from the top side. And I'm going to go underneath and get the nuts from the back side. Okay? You got the tools to your right. We're going to start at 10 o'clock, far left corner. Yeah, no, and we're going to work clockwise. Okay, going up. You ready? Actually, we should probably roll this window down so you can hear me. This is going to be fun. Good job. All right, putting the shop foreman to work. It's like a ride. All right, I'm gonna put you down on the locks.
It's higher than it was last time.
It's too high?
I said it's higher than it was when we bled the grapes.
Not that high. All right. So there are obviously a bunch of nuts on the back side of the shifter surround bolts. So we got to get those off. I think it's really only there's only 4. I think the rest are just screws. So we're going to do that. I don't think there's really much for you guys to see. It's obvious what's going to happen here. So I'm going to put this on time lapse. And as soon as I get done, I will come back to you guys when I start to pull the transmission out. So we'll be right back. Okay, we're ready to get the speedometer gear out, and we're going to get our reverse light switch out. I'm just getting everything ready to pull this thing out of the car as I get fluid dripping on me. Next is this guy here. I think we need a 1/2 inch wrench. Of course, that's not going to work. Just feel like I might be better off just taking that thing out of the bracket. Don't know how I'm going to make this work with the Muncie yet, but definitely got to take it out of here. So no matter what, it's got to come out. Really quite surprised that there's any fluid left in this transmission. I thought most of it leaked out. I filled it up when I guess when I first got the lift, I filled it up, but this thing just leaks like a sieve. I think I already put a hole in this glove. These green gloves are not it. Okay. Just want to put these back in the transmission. This thing is going to go in the parts washer. It's a hot mess. Back on there so we don't lose it. This Saginaw is worth rebuilding. Tell you one thing, this thing is going to be a lot heavier than that Muncie. I'm already not looking forward to it. If you're not familiar with these transmissions, the Muncies are aluminum, these Saginaws are cast iron. So this is going to be significantly heavier. All right, next, I think we will put a jack support under the tail shaft, and we'll move this cross member out of the way. Hopefully that's an easy process. It looks like it's actually missing a bolt here. 2 bolts, 2 nuts anyway. Huh. Yeah. How did I miss that? I never really looked at it. The more and more I look at this thing, the more and more, like as I go over it, I realize that the poor old man that bought this car, that I bought it from, he got took. And the people that rebuilt this thing should go to prison. Like, how do you not put the... This just came out of the rear cross member.
With your hand.
With my hand. There's no nut at all. And I'm going to do the same thing on this side. There's no nut on the bolt. So you saw I didn't put a tool on it. There you go. They put the bolts in, put washers on them, no nuts. And they put the lock washers, there's lock washers on the bolt side. Like, what? What? Whatever. I'll fix it. It makes sense why, now that I think about it, why there's so many vibrations coming from this transmission. Why there's so many vibrations coming from the drive line. I thought that maybe there was just some problems going on with the transmission itself, but I'm starting to think that maybe that had more to do with it, because it almost looks like this whole assembly. Look at this. See this gap right here? I don't even think this is tight. All right, well, that's why we're here. We're going to fix it. We're going to fix it the right way. So give me a second. I'm going to get the tools and everything in place. We're going to get this thing situated so we can do this safely and not have this heavy-ass transmission fall on my head. So give me a second. Be right back with you. All right, so we're getting after this cross member and finding more and more problems with the previous build. As I get in closer to this thing, let me show you what I'm working with here. I have not yet put a wrench on this, and as you guys saw earlier, the back bolts had no nuts on them, and the front ones are literally just kind of floating in the breeze here. So this side is not tight at all. This side's pretty tight. So not really sure what's going on with that. We have a whole nother problem here with a big gap between the mount and the cross member. My guess is these are probably loose as well. Look, the transmission's not moving, but the cross member is, so that's a problem. I'm going to go ahead and try to get this cross member out and find out what the problem is here, what the situation is, and why it's like that. My guess is that maybe this car originally had an automatic in it, and they threw this transmission in it just to sell it. I don't know. But the transmission's shot, so it's got to come out anyway, and this obviously this all has to get fixed. I never made it this far forward of the subframe connectors when I did the subframe connectors and the ride tech suspension, so I just never really looked at this. It's never really dawned on me to think about. But now I'm glad I'm doing this, because this is a hot mess. I'm going to put you guys on time lapse while I get this cross member undone and out. Obviously it's not going to take very long to do, because the bolts are all loose and there's only, seems like one holding it on. Then I will come back before I pull the transmission. So, sit tight. So again, this is what we're dealing with. I got somebody that put a bolt in with the lock washer on the bolt side and the flat washer on the nut side. This is the only bolt that was holding in the cross member. The rest of them were all loose. I don't know. This is the state of I guess the car world these days. People just want to hurry up and get them in and get them out and get rid of the cars, I guess. I don't know. But the gentleman that I bought this car from paid a lot of money for it. A lot of money for it. And he bought it sight unseen from an internet retailer. And obviously it was not what he paid for it. And I think he was kind of just lost his interest in it, and I bought it off of him significantly cheaper than what he paid for it. I bought it for what he was asking for it, but that was significantly less than what he paid for it. So, I got a good deal on it, but he got what I paid for it is what he should have paid for it. And then these little things that I keep finding, and it's just more and more corners that are cut and dumb things that were done. I'm gonna have to pull these off. Get this out. Just dumb stuff. Like, this doesn't make any sense. Like things like this. Like, why? Like, were you in that much of a rush that you didn't even bother to bolt the cross member in? I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me. But the cross member is completely unbolted. It looks like I'm probably gonna have to pull at least one of the exhaust pipes out to get that out completely. But we're gonna keep getting at it. We'll be back in just a moment. I'm pulling exhaust pipe down and see if I can get this cross member out. All right, we got the cross member out. Next thing we're gonna do is pull the return spring off of the clutch fork, which is up in here. So we're just gonna pop this off here. There it is, it's off. So now we can take that out. Clutch pedal is disengaged from the clutch fork, so that should be good. Now I'm going to unbolt this transmission from the bell housing. I'm just going to pull the transmission out. Actually, I might need to take the shifter off. Looks like I'm probably going to take the shifter off because, yeah, we got to do that. So let me do that first. That's nice and easy. I'm just going to unbolt it from the side of the transmission. Just going to take the linkage assemblies off first. And then just dangle down here. The 1, 2, and 3, 4 linkage rods, technically I could reuse them for the Muncie. They're pretty much the same length and angle and all for the Muncie and the Saginaw. So technically I could reuse those. I don't know if I'm going to. I have a whole shelf full of different rods up there that I'm gonna try. See which one works best. Now the reverse I absolutely cannot use. The Muncie has the reverse shift lever is in the tail housing, which is like here, whereas the Saginaw, the shift is reverse shifter arm is all the way up in the side cover plate. It's easier to see when the transmission's out of the car. I'll show you next to the Muncie once we get it out. But so that's one thing you should be prepared for if you're swapping from a Saginaw to a Muncie, is you will need a different reverse linkage. This linkage is all sorts of, I'm going to call it custom. We'll call it custom, yeah, custom. You can see how it's like a rod welded to a rod that's welded to a rod. Once again, just weird things that people do when they cut corners and do weird things. Like these are just rods welded to rods. I don't know why they didn't just get the right rods, but here we are. So next, I'm just gonna take the mounting bracket off of the side of the transmission. This should be the same. There shouldn't be any reason to change that. I'm just gonna grab a electric ratchet. camera on myself. Of course. My shallow 9/16.
On something, sure.
Yeah, it must be, but I don't. Better not be in a cup. It's got to be on a ratchet somewhere. Where's that snap-on ratchet? There it is. I got it. Can you hand me a 9/16 open end wrench? There should be possibly one on the bench. If not, it'll be yeah. Is that 9/16? Yeah. Now this is going to come as a surprise, but another dumb thing here. This bolt, rather than putting the correct bolt in or the correct linkage in, they didn't put a washer under it, which means it's probably chewed into the shifter bracket. And then they ground down the head of the bolt to fit beneath the shifter arm, which, I guess, do what you gotta do. I don't know. Some of the things that I see here are pretty frustrating. No, I'm just gonna try to. I was gonna try to pull it out from this side, but I don't know. It might have to go up.
You can go back up there.
Nah, it'll be fine just the way it is. Just kind of push it. I just don't want the grease getting on my seat. That's good enough. Alright guys, so I apologize. Somehow I had some audio problems here. I'm not really sure where the malfunction occurred, but we're going to get this thing figured out, I promise. Here we're just trying to figure out the best way to go about getting this Saginaw transmission out of the car. Obviously, as I mentioned earlier in the video, this transmission is quite a bit heavier than the Muncie. This one's made out of cast iron. The whole case is made out of cast iron. Tail shaft is cast iron, so it's quite a bit heavier than the Muncie, which is made out of all aluminum. So I was a little concerned without having a transmission jack, trying to fight it out of the bell housing and then hold on to it without dropping it or getting hurt. So decided that the best course of action would be to lower the car down maybe about 2 feet off the ground, just enough so I could climb underneath it and keep it on the lowest locks that the lift allows. Then just use the floor jack to kind of wiggle it out from underneath, and that worked out pretty well. As you'll see, it it winds up coming out fairly easily. No broken fingers, no broken toes. So that's the most important thing, and obviously no broken skull, which is even more important. So I ended up getting it out, and we get the car back up in the air, and we move on. Hopefully there won't be any more audio issues as we move forward. So I appreciate you guys sticking around. I hope you're enjoying the video and the content so far. If there's anything you guys want to see, or anything you guys are hoping for in the future with the car, or any other videos you'd like me to make, please let me know. Put it down in the comments. Otherwise, I appreciate you sticking around, and let's get back to it. Alright, so we got the transmission out, obviously. I'm going to go ahead and pull the clutch out of here. I have to order some parts, so it's probably going to be sitting up here for a couple days. So I figure I might as well get the clutch and pilot bearing out of here. Get this thing as ready as I can. Maybe take a look at the flywheel, see what that looks like. After seeing some of the things I've seen so far, working on this car and the previous people that worked on it, I'm not really trusting of what some of the previous people have done. So I want to try to get my eyes on as much as I can, especially in the driveline. So I'm going to go ahead and start that. Take this assembly off real quick. It's pretty easy. There's just 6, probably 9/16 bolts. Hold the pressure plate on. That'll come off. The disc will come off with it, and then we'll get the pilot bearing out. It's pretty dirty up in here, but we'll clean it afterwards. We'll grab some tools, be right back. Hoping I can do this without turning the engine over. This should be good. I shouldn't be surprised that pressure plate bolts all feel like they're different torque. Pretty much got them all broken loose. Should be able to just run them out with the electric ratchet now. make it easier on myself so I don't drop this thing on by myself today. That should be it. Boy, it's got some weight to it. Throw one more bolt in here so I can get myself situated better. Dirty. Lots and lots of clutch material. Hoping this clutch doesn't have a whole lot of miles on it. I have the receipt for the clutch. Shouldn't have much more than about 1,000 miles on it, so hoping it's reusable. That flywheel does have some burn marks on it. Alright, so you can see here, I'm going to clean this up a little bit, but you can see it's got some marks on it here and there. I think I'm probably going to send it, but I'll have to look at the pressure plate. See what that looks like, see what the clutch disc looks like. At least they used good hardware to hold that on. Alright, obviously I'm a little dirty here. I'm going to try to get this pressure plate disc out to the driveway here, clean that up a little bit, and see what we're working with there. Be right back. Alright, so we're back. Sorry, I'm doing this one-handed, so it's a little difficult to kind of set you guys up, film, and show you what's going on at the same time. So I'm going to try not to bump into you here. So I have my my driver in there. You can see really all you need is something that's tight, that fits tight inside there. A lot of people will use like an old input shaft. I just have a punch, piece of steel that I use that's I don't even, to be honest with you, know where this came from, but it fits in there really tight, so works well. Then a hot dog roll. I'm going to split that in half, dip it in some water, get it nice and mushy. I usually use just a couple, what do you call it? Slices of bread, but I had a hot dog roll that was kind of stale, so figured I would use that. You can use grease for this too, but this is just a little easier to clean up. I prefer the bread technique, just so I don't have grease all over everything. Worst case scenario, all I have on the flywheel when I'm done is some bread and some water. So I'm just gonna pack this stuff in there, get as much of it inside behind the bearing as I can. I feel like that's probably about all I'm going to get. I have a little pan underneath me here that's catching everything that's falling out. Alright, let's see if that's enough. Grab a hammer. Without squirting out all over the place. Yeah, she's coming. I'm gonna have to put a little bit more in there. I don't know if you can see, but it's the bearing is out about maybe a couple thousandths, but it's moving. I just got to take up a little bit more of that space that I just made. She's out almost halfway now.
I want cheese bread, oh yeah, oh yeah. Cheese bread is so good, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Hot and soft, I love that taste. Cheese bread right up in my face. Morning time, I'm feeling fine. Cheese bread party is my line. Golden ball is calling me. Cheese bread gives me energy. Table fresh and round, that cheesy smell all around. Dance Annie, come on, let's go. Cheese bread funk, we steal the show.
There can't be much holding that thing in there. She's out. There it is, finally. Alright, now I gotta get all that gunk out of there. Try to get the majority of it out, then I'll just spray this whole thing down and brake clean again. She was stubborn. Hey guys, I just wanted to thank you guys for hanging out with me. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to finish the Muncie installation in this video. It's starting to drag out a little bit, and if I start tying in the actual installation, this is going to be an extremely long video. So I wanted to cut it here with the Saginaw removal. We will have a part two. Part two will be the Muncie installation. It's all pretty much wrapped up now. The video that you're watching now was most of it was filmed about a week to 2 weeks ago. I was just waiting for parts. Unfortunately, there was I ran into a couple of things that I had to repair that I didn't really expect. It's common, normal things. It's just like, again, a 56-year-old car, you're going to run into things. You got to expect that. Classic cars are, especially cars that haven't been rotisserie restored or restored in serious restoration shops. You're going to bump into things that have been done, quick or shoddy, or as you saw with the cross member debacle that I don't know what the heck was going on there. But, you come into things like that. So couple of things that I had to fix, had to repair that I really didn't expect. So just waited for parts, and those got here quick. Just, unfortunately, I got a real job that I had to attend to, so I couldn't get back to it in time. But you will see a part 2, and part 2 will be the installation of the Muncie. Hopefully I will have that up in the next couple of days. Won't be this long of a delay. So I already started the editing of that. The Muncie is in the car now. I just didn't get the shifter all installed and the linkage adjusted. So just got to do that, get the drive shaft in, and then finally we'll be able to get this car on the road, get it down on the ground and driving the way it's supposed to. And we can do an intro video. We can go out, take it for a ride. I can get it up in the air, show you guys all of the other modifications that have been done prior to me starting this channel. But either way, I appreciate you guys hanging out, appreciate you watching. If you haven't, please like, comment, subscribe, let me know what you like and what you don't like, and most importantly, make it chop.